If you're a business owner, you're always looking for an edge, right? Some way to save time, a little bit of money, maybe a lot of stress. Well, today we are diving into a tool that promises all three: AI agents. And the best part? You absolutely do not need to be a coder to get them working for you.
So yeah, you've probably seen this term AI agent just everywhere lately. It's the big buzzword. But what I want to do is cut through the hype because behind that word is some seriously powerful tech that's becoming super accessible. So, what are they really? And more importantly, how can you actually use them? That's what we're going to break down right now. All right, first things first. Let's get a really solid foundation for what we're even talking about here. Forget all the complex jargon for a second. Okay, the single most important way to think about an AI agent is this: it's a digital teammate. Seriously, it's not just some passive tool you click. It actively thinks through problems, it remembers what you talked about before, so you're not starting from scratch every time. And this is the game changer, it can use other software to take real action. It works on its own to hit the goals you give it. Now, to really get why these agents are such a big deal, we kind of have to look at where they fit into the bigger picture of AI. This is a huge leap forward from the tools that most of us are already using every single day. Okay, look at the difference here. On one side, you've got a simple AI workflow. Think of it like a straight line. You trigger it, it does its thing from A to Z, and then it stops. It can't really fix itself if something goes wrong. But an AI agent? That's totally different. It works in a circle, like a feedback loop. It thinks, it acts, it sees what happened, and then it thinks again based on those results. It's not just blindly following a script, it's actively trying to solve a problem. And the engine that makes that whole loop possible? It's something called the REACT framework. It's really simple when you break it down. REACT stands for reasoning plus acting. The agent thinks about what to do, then it does it, then it looks at the outcome, and that information feeds right back into its next thought. That's it. That's the cycle that gives it all that autonomous power. So, how does one of these digital teammates actually tick? I know it sounds super complex, but it really just boils down to three main parts. So, first up, every agent has a brain. This is a large language model. You've heard of these, like GPT-4. This is the part that does all the heavy lifting, the reasoning, the planning, understanding what you're asking for. It's basically what makes the agent smart. Next up is memory. And honestly, this is so important. Without memory, the agent would have amnesia every time you talk to it, right? It would just start over completely fresh. Memory systems let it remember what you're currently working on and even hang on to important info for the long term, just like a real person on your team would. And finally, this is where the real magic happens: tools and actions. Think of these as the agent's hands and feet. The brain can think all day long, but without tools, it can't do anything. Tools are the connections, the APIs to your other software, your email, your social media accounts, your customer database. This is what lets the agent actually get stuff done in the real world. Okay, so now we know what an agent is and what it's made of. Let's get to the really exciting part. You can build one of these yourself. And I mean it when I say this. You absolutely do not need to be a coder to do it. Yeah, the rise of what are called no-code platforms has just blown the doors wide open for everybody. You've got tools like N8N, which lets you visually build these things out. Then there are others like Flowise or even Microsoft's Power Platform that give you different kinds of drag-and-drop solutions. The point is, getting started has never, ever been easier. And you know what? It doesn't really matter which platform you pick, because the process pretty much always breaks down into these four simple steps. First, you set a trigger. What kicks the whole thing off? Is it you sending a message, or is it just running on a schedule? Second, you connect the brain. Pick your LLM. Third, you add memory. Decide how much it needs to remember. And fourth, you link up its tools. Give it access to the apps it needs to do its job. Now, here's a really critical piece of advice, especially for agents that run on a schedule. You have to give it a really clear set of instructions. We call this the job description. It's basically a detailed prompt where you spell out its role, its exact tasks, and, super important, its limitations. Think of it like you're briefing a new hire on their first day. You have to be specific. Okay, with all this power, we have to talk about responsibility. You can't just build an agent, flip a switch, and walk away. It is so important to start smart and to put the right safeguards in place. This is a great way to think about where to start. You want to begin with the low-risk internal stuff, things like analyzing some data, or maybe drafting content that you're going to review later. These are tasks where if the agent messes up, it's not the end of the world. What you want to avoid at first are the high-risk jobs, like automatically running ad campaigns with your credit card or, deleting old company records. Those absolutely need a human watching over them. So here's your safety checklist. Super simple. 1. Start small with low-risk, repetitive tasks. 2. Always keep a human in the loop for the big decisions. 3. Set up some kind of monitoring or alert so you can catch problems early. And 4. Give the agent that crystal clear job description with firm boundaries so it knows exactly what it should and shouldn't do. And really, that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. This technology isn't about replacing people. It's about building incredible tools that amplify what we're capable of. The whole idea is to let the agents handle all that tedious, repetitive work so that you can focus your brainpower on strategy, on creativity, on the things that actually grow your business. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Just think about your own day-to-day work. With everything we've just covered, what's the very first repetitive, time-sucking task you would hand off to your brand new digital teammate?